This is the plaintiff, Angie Tejada. She says she rented the defendant's apartment, and as she was moving in, she became horrified because she realized the place had roaches. Yuck! The defendant, who was fully aware there was a roach problem, did not inform her, so she hightailed it out of there because those ugly little critters give her the creeps. She's suing for $950 for the return of her rent. This is the defendant, Sylvia Lopez. She says she thinks the plaintiff's wanting to move out had more to do with her disgruntled boyfriend than seeing one little roach. The boyfriend wasn't happy living there in the first place, had a bad attitude from the get-go, and showed up one day with some goon he claimed was his lawyer. Hello? What lawyer makes house calls? She's accused of bugging out a tenant.
You're welcome.
Okay, Angie Tejada?
Yes.
You are suing Sylvia Lopez for $950 in rent that you want returned to you because the apartment you were going to move into, according to you, was roach infested.
Yes.
What happened?
I contacted her about February 26th, 24th. I saw an ad outside the apartment, and I called her to make an appointment. I went to view the apartment. It was okay. You know, she said she still had cleaning to do. But I decided to take the apartment because it was at a good price. So
And the apartment was for who? For you and?
my boyfriend and my son.
Anybody else?
My son.
How old is your son?
He was 18 months at the time.
Okay.
So around the same week, a couple of days later, I didn't move anything in the apartment because I decided I wanted to paint before I moved in. So as I go to paint the kitchen, my sister notices a roach crawling up the kitchen. And I called her, I contacted Ms. Lopez, I explained to her, you know, that I noticed there was roaches there.
Yeah.
She said, yes, don't worry about it. I'll come over and bomb the apartment. There's, you know, it might be roaches because the tenants in the first floor are unsanitary. So there might be some roaches there. So I told her, why didn't she tell me about it? She said, don't worry, she'll take about it. A little roach is nothing. But I'm concerned about my son. It's disgusting. It's disgusting to have roaches in your apartment. So when I went back after she said she took care of the problem, there was still roaches in the apartment. Mind you, there's no food in the apartment. There's nothing in the apartment. So
when you say there's still roaches, what do you mean?
there were still roaches in the apartment.
No, you're going to have to be more specific. What did you see?
I saw roaches in the inside of the cabinets in the kitchen, on the bottom where you put the pots at. And crawling up, they were still crawling up the wall.
What is your response to this?
My response to this is on February 15th, the apartment was vacant. Ms. Tejeda came to see the apartment that day. She loved the apartment. She told me that her boyfriend had to come and see it with her.
And did he come?
Did he? Yes, he did. When he came into the apartment with her, he put a face like he didn't like the apartment.
What's the face like? Okay.
You know, he didn't like the apartment.
Okay.
So from that day on, Angie called me every single day because I had to finish painting. When I give my apartments, I give them to the tenants. Painted, clean. What she's saying about roaches, I mean, she called me on day 3rd of the month.
On the 3rd of March.
Of
and
March.
The tenancy started on the 1st of March?
It started, okay.
And I have a question.
Yes.
And was this a month-to-month or a yearly lease?
It was
We
going to
didn't
be.
sign a lease.
It was going to be a month-to-month, and she
Month-to-month.
knew.
Okay.
But because of the reason that the first fell on a Tuesday, I gave her the apartment Saturday the 26th.
Okay.
When I finished painting with my handyman, I cleaned the apartment with Clorox. I was there throughout the whole time that he was painting.
Okay, but you did get a call from her saying, I found, what did she say?
Yes, she called me on March 3rd. She said, Sylvia, I have a problem. And I said, what's the matter, Angie? Did you move? She said, I found a cockroach. I said, okay, Angie. That's when I found out that she didn't move yet, that she was painting. So I said, being that you haven't moved in, so let the apartment open, I'll come in and bomb the place, just in case. So she was so happy, and she said,
when you
okay,
say bomb, you're talking about those roach bombs that you leave going
I
and
did
they...
it. I went by myself. I went to Home Depot. I bought the bombs. I came back. She called me. She said, Sylvia, I'm leaving tonight because she was still painting. And I went upstairs. I bombed the place. Before I went to work that morning, I went upstairs. And
Do you live there?
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't find
So
no
how many families live there?
3.
3.
I didn't find not one cockroach. So she was there.
Did you ever tell her, oh, yeah, the other people who live here are pigs?
No,
Or
I've said
unsanitary?
in the past, you have tenants that are good and that are
Right, so what did you tell her about that?
that sometimes when people come in and move, they bring cockroaches from other places too.
Okay.
Because that really happens.
Right, but were the
Anyway.
people who were living, were you on the first floor or the second floor?
Second.
So were the people who were living on the first floor unsanitary?
Sometimes people are
I didn't ask you what
unsanitary.
sometimes happens. I'm asking you whether you told her that the people who were actually at that
Yes,
moment living on the
yes.
first floor were unsanitary. That's what I'm asking you.
Well, I'm not trying to say that I don't want to put men.
That would be a yes, I think.
Yes, because I don't want to say that men, because not all men are unsanitary. But sometimes men don't clean.
You just
Sometimes-
assumed that the man downstairs wasn't cleaning?
Sometimes
Okay.
men don't clean, as
Okay.
a woman would do.
Okay.
So anyway, then on day 6 of March, that's when Angie calls me and tells me that she wants her money back.
Okay, this is after you've bombed.
Yes. She was there.
And does she call back and say, I've seen more roaches? What does she say?
No, she said that day, she said, Sylvia, I want to talk to you. So I said, what's the problem now? She says, I can't live here. I saw another cockroach. I said, listen, Angie, I'm willing to give you back. I went upstairs. The gentleman, her boyfriend, was saying the B word and cursing.
What,
and I
calling
said,
you the B word?
Yes. And
Well, that's
he
not
was,
conducive to getting money back.
Okay, and I said, listen, Angie, I don't want to speak to him. I made the agreement with you. I gave you the keys. You were in charge of the apartment. I don't want to deal with this gentleman. If he talks to you like that, he's not going to talk to me like this. Anyway, so I told him, I'm willing to give you the $475 of the rent and your security deposit back because I don't want to keep nobody's money. You don't want to live in my house? Don't.
So you were willing to give her 3/4 of the money back?
Exactly. Half of the rent.
And what, did she offer you 3/4 of the money back?
Yes.
Exactly.
And what?
And to correct her, she said,
Wait.
If you find one roach in an apartment, can you move out?
Absolutely not.
Okay, what do you think?
I totally agree. That's crazy.
Okay, but if there's one roach, aren't there going to be 100 roaches?
Oh, yes. You gotta see some.
So can you move out?
Well, you gotta see the manager about that.
Well, okay, the issue is not the manager. Can you move out if you see one roach?
I think you can move out if you see one roach because it indicates that there's a problem in the building.
Fair enough, we'll see going inside the courtroom.
I'm a little bit surprised because, you see, finding a roach isn't grounds to break a lease. Roach infestation
Yes.
might be grounds to break a lease. This is like a slippery slope. And your judge in your case has to, for you to win all your money back, has to find that it was so bad that no one could live there. Not that you chose, or I would also choose not to live there. That's not the question. You know, you make decisions in life and, you know, you make them and they're the best for you and that's fine. The question is, who do you pass that cost on to? Sometimes the best decisions we make cost us some money, you know? I don't want to live in a place where I find one roach, but that doesn't mean it's uninhabitable. So you're telling me that the landlord offered you 75% of the money back, and you told her to go pound sand?
Can I talk?
Yeah.
Okay. No. It was roaches. It was not just one roach. This is the thing. She keeps saying that was. I have a picture of it. When I went there,
Let me
all
see
I
the
went
picture.
one time, and this was after she bombed. There was a roach crawling up the wall.
It's going to be a close-up of a roach, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. There you go. I'm sorry.
What is that object? Is it like a phone wire or something?
Yeah.
You filed a complaint with the county, right? What happened with that?
They said they would take care of it and that they have.
No, but
received-
what happened with the result? When someone files a complaint and says there's such a roach
They
infestation, that
said
it's
they were going to
uninhabitable-
go to her apartment
And?
and take.
Did you did you get, before coming to court, did you call the county to find out what had happened with your complaint?
I called them, and every time I called the person I was supposed to speak to, she was out or she would be out to lunch. And I called the whole past week.
Okay, and did you hear anything from the
No,
county or the
no.
city or the village or whatever it is that you're, okay. You know, this is a difficult thing because, you know, you have to be able to prove that no one can live there. That, like, you just can't live, those aren't livable, I shouldn't say no one can live there because people can live in the worst of situations. Do you think you have to interrupt me right now?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. You know, in order to get all of your money back, which is, well, you're actually suing for half of your money back, but in order to get money back, you have to be able to prove that she breached by not delivering to you an apartment that was livable, okay? Not that it was gross, but that it wasn't livable. People prove that in a lot of different ways. People prove it by calling the city, and the city comes in, and then they show me the report from the city that says that it's unlivable. I have to guard against the following, that you go in there, you find 1 or 2 roaches, you decide it's icky, and you change your mind. That's not unlivable. Or what she suspects, which I don't know if she has any evidence of it, that your boyfriend didn't really like the place. But that's really supposition on her part.
My only objection to that was the roaches.
No, and I understand that. But I find that as a matter of law, it doesn't rise to the level of making the place unlivable that would give you the right to breach the contract. Okay?
Well, we didn't
now,
have-
the problem that we have is that normally, because all you have to do on a month-to-month, when you don't have a lease, it's by operation of law a month-to-month. And so when it's a month-to-month, all you have to do is give 30 days notice. But it's a full 30 days at the beginning of the calendar month. So since the problem arises on March 6th and not on March 1st, your notice would put you in a position where both March and April would be due, and therefore you would be entitled to 0. You didn't end up renting the place out until when?
Until May.
Until May. So you actually lost the 2 months in rent. All right. Well, you didn't lose it because you used her money to cover it. But Ms. Tejeda, under these circumstances, I can't afford you the relief that you're asking for, and I find in favor of the defendant.
Let's find out what the plaintiff has to say about that ruling, which goes against you. What's your feeling here?
I don't think it's right. She had a roach infestation in her apartment. It wasn't livable. It wasn't tenant ready, and I don't feel it was right. I didn't get to get any money back at all.
Did what about her? The defendant's claim that you tried to intimidate her a little bit.
No, I didn't. I didn't try to intimidate her at all. I just felt that by us leaving on the 6th, it was only right that we would pay her for the 6 days that we were there, not for a whole month and lose out because she had a roach infestation.
You didn't get a little tough with her?
Yeah, I got a little upset because, you know, I had a 2-year-old child that I had to bring into a roach-infested house. So if that was you, I'm sure you would get pretty upset too.
And where you living now is?
No,
it's
clean.
yeah.
No,
Okay,
no,
all right.
no.
Okay, around the corner there. Okay, documents waiting for you there.
Just do me a favor.
All right, so come on in here and tell me what your feeling is. You were interrupting the judge as she's ruling. Didn't you see this going your way? Didn't you know you were going to win when the judge was
I
ruling?
thought I was going to win because this was the truth. What I was telling here was the truth.
What's this deal about men are unsanitary?
Sometimes.
In my house, I do the cleaning.
Okay, that's good.
All right.
That's good.
All right, Harvey?
You know, just finding a roach doesn't solve the problem. You have to look at where the roach came from. It could have been another tenant, not where the landlord isn't responsible. You have to give the landlord a reasonable amount of time to solve the problem. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.